Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently down 0.42% to 42,142. Oh, lots of 42s in there. Meaning of life. Ethereum down 0.56% to 2904. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, please know that our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. There's always hope. The sun will come out again, and you are not alone. Our community embraces the real wealth focus and a positive excellence life trend. You can think of any particular pullback that you have in life as just giving you the strength to get set up for the next promotion. You can think when you hit a particular point, when you have a pullback in life, you basically hit a level of resistance, just like what happens in crypto. You will come down to a level of support, and that will set you up with your increased strength for the next rally. This is a really important way to look at life, and a beautiful another way to look at support and resistance. When you hit life resistance, it's not life punishing you, it's life setting you up for the next new adventure. The sun will come out again, and you'll accumulate more and more and more strength until you reach your level of support where you will be set up for the next rally. This particular chart is a strength curve. As crypto technical analysts, we're dedicated to spreading kindness, empathy and care, contribution and sharing, having new ways of thinking and gaining new skills. A really nice thing to keep in mind is strength follows setbacks. Whenever you get a setback in life, strength is accruing. You're getting set up for the next promotion. Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. We know as a community, Bitcoin is really important. We have to understand its movements. Currently, Bitcoin is trading at 42,218. We can see it's rejected a particular line, and that is all about the fact that Russia and Ukraine is causing an amount of tension in the world at the moment. There are, of course, always other factors, but I believe this is the main one. We can see that there's a very strong level of resistance at this 44,402 level, as we've been pointing out, and this chart is on the daily basis. To zoom out a little bit and give you a different perspective, coming down to the 41,933 mark is absolutely fine. This is all part of price moving in a wave. Inside our community, we like to make things fun. So what we have here is Percy the magnetic price sheep. Percy is in the paddock below. For example, this resistance line at the moment. He's figuring out if Percy wants to go and meet FUD at 38,935 or meet his friend FOMO at 45,881. You can think of the lines underneath Percy as like fences. They're support lines. Lines above Percy, above Bitcoin's price, their resistance. To get through a thicker line, price, Percy, the magnetic price sheep, will need to actually get up to a point where he's accumulated enough strength to jump that fence. That is how everything works in life. It also works on a personal level. For example, to overcome setbacks, you need sufficient strength to get through them. So many things in life can be really devastating the first time you go through it. And then the next time you say, yeah, I've been here before, this is fine. Please let me know in the comments below, what do you think will happen? Do you think Percy will go and meet FOMO or go down and meet FUD? FOMO is at 45,881 and FUD is at 38,935. We're currently in the weekend, so that can actually make price move around more than during the week because of lighter volumes. Masterclass students, you are introduced to this chart in TR16 and you'll get the chart in TM7. What we're seeing here on Saturday, we had an equalization of price. Now in Sunday, things are starting relatively flat, but let's see how things go. The Super Bowl ads are coming up, and that should create some interest in crypto. The other thing to remember, this is just natural price action. What we've had is a falling off a cliff, coming back up the stairs, going up, and this retracement is just natural. It's price moving in a wave. That's really important to understand. Please note that my official email is kstandf@gmail.com. Rule 138, all investors become traders every time they buy or sell. It's really difficult when people just get into crypto for the first time. Where do they start? What do they look at? What should they put their money into? You would be very reasonable to think that you should just figure out what's going up the most and just get in on that. After all, if it's going up, it should keep going up. But without a knowledge of trading, people can get into this hodl wave and they can basically hold on for dear life no matter what is happening. They can paint themselves into a corner or do it yourself and not do it in the right way. There's an absolute science to entries and exits. One of the first things is to get the right mindset. Crypto technical analysts are in control professionals. They understand volatility and are in control emotionally. In Zone 1 and Zone 2, these are the zones that people enter when they get into the crypto market for the first time. They suffer the light switch effect, which is basically people go all in or all out, depending on what news they actually listen to. Of course, there's a lot of significant stress and sleepless nights. They have a singular focus on just what they hold. They don't look across the market because they don't know they should. They buy on green and they sell on red. They get trapped in certainty, and any negative news is sufficient for them to dispose of their position. They're really addicted to the news and indicators. They want to perfectly time everything and capture every move, and they're terrified of black swans. Crypto technical analysts reside in Zone 3 and Zone 4. They have calmness, inner and outer peace. They're patient. They stack probabilities. They understand percentages. They buy red and sell green. They have probabilistic fearlessness and trade the chart that they view. They use the CTKS method. The CTKS method requires foundations to look outside for trends, to look inside the crypto market for timing, to understand the rules of money, and only then to actually buy and sell. A lot of people can't wait, so they basically pick up the gun of investment, and unfortunately tends to look like this when people are just starting. They just fire, and what actually happens is that they can lose a lot of money. If they do fire, they're not quite sure where the target is, and they just fire off a lot of investments hoping one will hit the bullseye. Where Zone 1 and Zone 2 are like a light switch, Zone 3 and Zone 4 are like a dimmer. People scale in, waiting for price to come to them, and they scale out. They scale in on the red and they scale out on the green. They have a 10-5-10 volatility fund, and they make volatility their best friend, and they love black swans. They don't run from them. They're like firefighters. They run into the financial markets when the fire breaks out. Crypto technical analysis is taught through the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. I would like to give a bit of feedback from Frederick, a Masterclass graduate. Frederick said, "It's absolutely the best class I've ever taken. You transfer knowledge in a very effective and fun way, and your teachings are structured beautifully. Skill and knowledge is methodically built from the ground up, like a house." This is a really, really good analogy. Thanks so much, Frederick. You can think of the plans, the building of the house, the furnishing, and making the house a home. Let's go back to what Frederick said. The foundation section is perfectly measured and outlined. The footers are dug out and laser leveled. The concrete is poured and the bars are anchored. Wow, very nice imagery. The trend section completes the construction of the framework and builds in the roof. It takes care of all the ventilation, plumbing, and electrical. The timing section puts all of the walls, floors, windows, doors, landscaping, and masonry. In the trigger section, everything comes together beautifully. The interior and exterior get their decorations and finishing touches. The furniture is brought in and all the appliances are installed, but the real wealth section is what really turns the house into a home. I think that's an incredibly beautiful thing to say. The real wealth section is like this. It turns the house into a home. It makes investing and trading meaningful. And Frederick goes on to say, I think we should seriously advocate for real wealth philosophy to be taught in schools. If young people were taught about abundance and all of the hidden rules that govern money, the world would become a much better place. They would also be much better prepared for the ups and downs of life. Thanks so much, Frederick. It's really beautiful. It's really important to look externally. And when we go to the Wall Street Journal, we can see, for example, Ukraine, stock volatility. We can see things about the pandemic, things about inflation. Wow, that's a great picture. We see issues about the Federal Reserve, inflation, all sorts of things, interest rate rises. This is yet another reason why we need to look more broadly. Cryptocurrency as a market is around $2 trillion, but when compared to gold, to stocks, to bonds, crypto is really tiny. Crypto adoption is only starting. We're very, very early in the process, and there's an incredible amount of institutional money in the world. Unfortunately, many retail investors and traders don't actually understand how the financial system works, and therefore they think that if it's not coming in through stimulus checks or other things related to consumption, then it's not going to increase in size. The cryptocurrency market, nothing could be further from the truth. Cryptocurrencies represent the ownership layer on Web 3.0, the next evolution of the internet. Just for your quick reference, Masterclass students, you will get this in TM6. We can see that there's been a spike in fear. The Nasdaq 100 sold off. We've got a spike in oil prices. We've had an uptick in bond prices and a decrease in yields. We've seen the price of gold spike and the US dollar, the DXY currency index, actually spike as well. What we saw in the last trading session was gold increasing, silver, copper, palladium and platinum decreasing, the inverse DXY falling, and Bitcoin falling as well. Masterclass students, you will get this chart in TR23. Across the world, there are about 410.492 million cases of COVID, and we can see that is increasing all the time. That 1, 2, 3, 4th wave, which has been an especially large wave, is now starting to fall. When we look at the cases yesterday, there were 2.34 million cases across the world. When the major indexes fall, such as the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, the Russell, the Dow, what we actually see is the transportation indexes going with them. We saw that the New York Stock Exchange airline index was starting to get above resistance, and it still is. It's basically forming a channel. This could be part and parcel of a reopening trade. We'll keep our eye on this one, but it had a little bit of a sell-off there. Masterclass students, you will get this chart in TM3. One thing that didn't come down were inflation expectations. We can see the 10-year and the 5-year going up, still maintaining their positive uptrend. Masterclass students, you will get this chart in TM4. We can see constructive movement in the Chinese property market segment. Masterclass students, you'll get this in TM5. Russian market sentiment is actually decreasing. When we look at the spike in gold, the increase in bond prices, various other factors, this is a geopolitical event that's being reinforced. People are concerned about Russia and what is going to happen there. Masterclass students, you will get this chart in LV8. Let's have a really quick look through Bitcoin news. Netflix orders crypto series about a couple's alleged scheme to launder 4.5 billion in stolen Bitcoin. What a dumb thing to do. Bitcoin is an immutable public ledger. Anybody can find them and track them down. It just defies description why they would do that. Anyway, here's why Bitcoin traders shouldn't overanalyze US inflation data. We talked about that in a previous episode. This is a pretty cool one. Uber CEO says ride-sharing app could accept crypto in the future if certain conditions are met. Nice. Near Protocol, oh, it's going to go far, near and far, potentially, provides development grant to insurance.io. Bitcoin holders are accumulating and the trend is getting stronger. Here's why Bitcoin and Ethereum and Doge plunged this weekend. Oh, they know, well done. Bitcoin and annuities, how can we revitalize their poor value? Intel tries cashing in on cryptocurrency mining despite environmental problems. Breadstocks, oil, gas, bonds, and Bitcoin. How will the markets react to a war in Ukraine? This is actually a really interesting thing. When we look at war, sometimes when we have major wars like World War I and World War II, we see a collapse in price in the stock market. And that's because of the tremendous uncertainty. Other wars, smaller, more ongoing wars, that's a worry, isn't it? That is a little bit different. But the markets do get shaky when it comes to wars and warfare. And this looks interesting. Content subscription service OnlyFans adds Ethereum-based NFT profile feature. Wow, I can wonder what sort of platform that is. Let's have a look at Binance derivatives to try and figure out where the market's attention is, the crypto market's attention. What we've basically done, we've looked at outside trends and we can see the Russia-Ukraine issue is an issue and it's being reflected inside the market. Now we're in timing. What we're really interested in here is price pressure. We can see negative price pressure for Bitcoin and about the same for Ethereum. When we look at the derivatives contract price changes in the past 24 hours, we can see XRP is getting investor attention. Luna is, but these are really low numbers. You want something in excess of 10%. When we go the other way, we're not seeing a lot of in excess of 10%. The market is calming down. And that's being reflected in the fact that we're seeing green across the market. When you look at this, is your intention, when you see green, would you think buy? Or when you see red, is your intention to sell or to buy? Please let me know in the comments section on YouTube. Looking at the Fear and Greed Index for the crypto market, we can see the market is currently under fear, 44 out of 100. We see when there is extreme fear, that's the ultimate best time to get in and buy. Looking at total liquidations across the crypto market, we see 122.42 million across 48,172 positions. Across the past 24 hours, about 62% of those liquidations were long liquidations, and they really depend on so many factors. What we can see here is that there have been more long liquidations recently than short liquidations. But please know, if you're going long or you're going short, or even if you're hedging, you can be liquidated in both directions very, very quickly. Friends don't let friends leverage trade. Turning to Bitcoin options, for options expiring at the end of the month, we can see some pretty interesting stuff here. Most people feel very bullish about the crypto market. They are expecting on average higher prices. They're not bearish. A lot of people think that we've entered a bear market. Unfortunately, that is retail thinking, zone 1 and zone 2 thinking. Zone 3 and zone 4 is a completely different way to look at the market. In zone 3 and zone 4, we spend a lot of time stacking probabilities. One really important thing in the timing section, we need to understand where the focus of the market is. That's why we look through each crypto to try and understand how Bitcoin's gravity is playing out on it. When we look at Bitcoin, we can see that Bitcoin has moved in a strong wave up. We know Rule 4, price moves in waves. And we also know that in the crypto market, those waves are pretty big. We want to be like this guy, this dude, this surfer, just surfing the wave, controlling. We don't want to be like a zone 1, zone 2 investor and trader. This is literally the difference between those two areas. It just takes time, experience, and knowledge, but you can get there if you're not there already. So what I see when I look at this Bitcoin chart, I simply see a wave up and a natural wave down to support. Nothing to see here. This is pretty much basic stuff. We do need to keep our eyes on what Russia is doing, and that will be detected through bond prices, bond yields, gold, the DXY, the fear gauge, and a number of other things. That's why we keep our eyes on all of this, because we need to understand it. Ethereum doing the same, just a wave up and a natural wave down. In zone 1 and zone 2, people think that a natural wave down means it's all over. It's not. It's just price moving in a wave. Binance coin following Bitcoin's gravity. This is really what we want to see. We can see a divergence here. XRP is acting with a tremendous amount of strength, as it has been before, but this could be a foretelling that XRP could be in recovery. We need to keep our eye on this. What you do if you want to enter XRP, you buy at support levels down. You can put a trade, for example, to participate, but you would want to put levels down as you go and just wait for price to come to you. That's a very, very important thing to do. In the trigger section, we have a lot of different rules on how we actually enter and exit trades and investments, and we know that all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. What we're doing is looking for divergence and strength at the moment. ADA following Bitcoin's gravity, Solana is too, Luna pretty much, and AVAX pretty much the same. Just a little bit of kick up, but it's relatively strong in terms of its pattern, as many people pointed out in the comments section. When looking at the next day, we can see DOT following Bitcoin's gravity, as is Doge. SHIB is looking very strong. If you compare Doge to SHIB or DOT to SHIB, look at this upward momentum. Remember always, let price come to you. Do not chase price. Don't get involved with FOMO or FUD. Use volatility as your best friend. Let's have a look at Matic. Matic is following Bitcoin's gravity, but we can see a divergence and then recently a following. What you will see is many alts will phase in and phase out. They'll diverge and reconverge on Bitcoin's gravity, some more than others. Let's have a look at CRO, just following Bitcoin's gravity. Litecoin to a ping. Chainlink showed a lot of strength earlier, that divergence, but Bitcoin's gravity just walloped it. This is what we need to be careful of. But when it goes the opposite direction, we can use that for our advantage. NIA is also looking strong. When we do this analysis, it's all about taking off the blindfold, knowing where the target is, not firing so many arrows off, just being really, really selective and never picking up a gun that looks like that. Getting an understanding of strength and weakness is really important, and what's correlating and decorrelating with Bitcoin is also equally as important. We can see UNI basically following Bitcoin's gravity, Decentraland, Mana acting really strongly. Just keep this one in mind. And it's not surprising. I believe the game sector and the metaverse is going to become really, really big. A lot of people will be looking at it. When we look at Cosmos, Atom, we can see some strength in this pattern, very different from the downward momentum here. This one is actually bottoming out and starting to come up. Could be potentially interesting. Bitcoin Cash following Bitcoin's gravity. Algo, very much a weak crypto compared to Bitcoin's gravity, but we may get a snapback, and this is sometimes something that you can use to time your entries in. But just be aware, just dig more deeply into trying to figure out why you've got such a variance. FTX token acting with strength. Stellar, just copying Bitcoin's gravity basically. Ethereum Classic doing the same. Turning to the next date, we can see Sand outperforming Bitcoin's gravity on a relative basis. Axie Infinity following the gravity. ICP under pressure showing weakness. VET just following the gravity. We can see some strength in Theta token, and I know that's made a couple of our community members really happy. Filecoin also under pressure, but following Bitcoin's gravity. This is why we spend so much time understanding Bitcoin and how it's placed globally. If we understand those things, we can make better investment and trading decisions. EGLD looking really interesting, showing a lot of strength here. That spike upwards is showing that people really want to engage with EGLD. Tezos showing relative strength as well. HNT, we can see approximately following Bitcoin's gravity. Clay, we can see the same as well. IOTA was showing strength, but it's now become a little bit weaker, just realigning with Bitcoin's gravity. EOS in alignment. Flow showing a bit of strength. Harmony 1 showing strength as well. Aave coming back into alignment, and Gala showing strength. You might be interested, where did I get all these cryptos from? These are the 40th, the 40 largest cryptos by market capitalization on the 11th of Feb 2022. We're just going to track these through for about a week or so, just understanding how they're all moving around. It's not hard to see that the metaverse, the gaming tokens, they've got a lot of attention at the moment. They're showing strength. Turning to the community favorites, we can see Veracity VRA just a bit of an uptick at the moment, and we can see that's playing out across the entire crypto market. Why is that? It's because of the most important rule in crypto, Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. If you know and understand how to apply this rule, you'll be much more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and that is what it's all about. We can see Icon following Bitcoin's gravity, but just showing a little bit of weakness at the moment. Waves is showing a bit of weakness too, as is Sushi. We can see LRC following the Bitcoin directional movement, as is YGG. CRV is popping all over the place. We've got some divergences here. Let's actually keep our eye on CRV. It could be very, very interesting. And what I like about CHR, it's consolidating through this range. It could be really, really interesting. Again, we just have to keep our eye on it. It's really important to let price come to you. Just put your buy orders at levels of support down inside the market. Also, if you hold a position, make in advance probabilistic choices. Know what you will do if it goes down, up, or sideways. Don't just think the best case scenario, think all scenarios. It's really important to do. That's what we do in level 3 and level 4, and that's my focus, getting you into that smart money institutional mindset. You can see how much the fate of the alts is tied to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's gravity will determine so many different things. So what could happen to Percy? The magnetic price sheep. And magnetic because Percy is magnetized to these fences, these resistance and support lines. Percy will tend to trundle along. For example, when Percy reaches a support line, he'll tend to go along there until he comes up against another resistance. If it's not strong enough, Percy is not strong enough, he will get rejected down. Percy was doing really well until the Russia incident happened. But we should always remember that Bitcoin did a pretty fantastic job of coming up from a very low level. So this is also just a natural price wave. The Russia incident didn't help anything, but The concept is it is still a natural wave in price. Coming back and finding a support level is a really, really good thing. It just strengthens Percy, so Percy can go higher, and that's what we want. The CryptoTradingKS Masterclass is 164 lessons, and each lesson has something never before discussed on the public or community channel. It's a premium Rolls-Royce level masterclass on crypto technical analysis using a specific method directly invented to help us understand crypto's exponential price movements. If you go through an ambassador, you can get 80% off the price, so please do not pay full price. Just come across to www.cryptotechnicalanalysis.org and have a chat with what would become your mentor, one of the CTKS ambassadors. You can reach them directly on Twitter by just pressing the button on their profile. I also think it's really vital to understand why the masterclass was created. This is all about transferring knowledge over 30 plus years in financial markets, and you can just look through the testimonials page and get a kind of an idea how other people have found the masterclass as well. A really interesting thing to discuss in the comments on YouTube is the concept that when we hit a personal resistance level and then we go down through a life pullback, we hit a level of support where we accumulate strength. We accumulate all the way down. The sun will come out again, and we forge forward over that previous level of resistance and then rally onwards. What do you think of that concept? How has that concept applied in your own life? And do you find that strength follows setbacks? I think it could be really interesting to chat about. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you very much to our moderators and our ambassadors for taking care of the community. Please say hi and let me know if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the link to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.